Enigma long on the NQ7. Fib.NQ on the 5. Alpha Delta.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 9. Divergence down NQ on the 9. Alpha Omega down NQ Omega down NQ on the 7. Divergence down NQ on the 41. Bold touch high. Harmonic NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 9. Fib.ES on the 1. Divergence up NQ on the 9. Double delta NQ on the 7. Bold dot NQ on the 9. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 5. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 5. Divergence up NQ on the 5. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 7. NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 9. Bold touch low. Fib.NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ on the 41. Fib.NQ on the 5. NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 5. NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 7. Alpha Delta NQ on the 41. Alpha Delta NQ on the 5. NQ on the 5. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 9. Harmonic NQ on the 89. Alpha Omega NQ on the 41. Bold touch low. Fib.NQ on the 7. Fib.NQ on the 5. DCDMNQ on the 7. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.ES on the 1. Divergence down NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 9. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Double delta NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 9. Harmonic NQ on the 5. NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 5. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Divergence down NQ on the 9. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 9. Double delta NQ on the 9. Alpha Omega up ES on the 1. Enigma short on the NQ7. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Enigma long on the NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 7. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 7. Harmonic NQ on the 7. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ down NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 7. Fib.ES on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 9. finger NQ on the 41. Divergence down NQ on the 9. NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ on the 5. NQ on the 9. Double delta NQ on the 9. Fib dot NQ on the 5. Fib dot NQ on the 41. Enigma long on the NQ5. Fib dot NQ on the 5. Fib dot NQ on the 5. Fib dot NQ on the NQ9. Fib dot NQ on the 5. Fib dot NQ on the 7. Fib dot NQ on the 9. Harmonic NQ on the NQ on the 5. Alpha omega harmonic NQ on the 9. Alpha omega NQ on the 5. Fib dot NQ on the 7. Fib dot NQ on the 9. Divergence down NQ on the 9. Fib dot NQ on the 5. ECDM ES on the 1. Alpha omega down ES on the 1. Fib dot NQ on the 7. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Fib dot NQ on the 7. Fib dot NQ on the 9. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Fib dot NQ on the 7. Fib dot NQ on the 9. Double delta NQ on the 7. Fib dot NQ on the 9. Bold touch low. Double delta NQ on the 5. Divergence down NQ on the 41. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ on the 7. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ on the 7. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Divergence down NQ on the 9. Double delta ECM NQ on the 7. Double delta NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Alpha delta NQ on the 7. Harmonic NQ on the 9. Fib dot NQ on the 7. Alpha omega down NQ on the 5. Alpha omega down NQ on the 9. Delta shift NQ on the 7. Alpha omega down NQ on the 41. Bold touch high. Fib dot NQ on the 5. Fib dot NQ on the 7. Alpha omega up ES on the 1. Bold touch high. Bold touch high. Fib dot NQ on the 9. Fib dot NQ on the 5. Divergence down NQ on the 9. Fib dot NQ on the 9. Enigma long on the NQ5. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 5. Divergence Alpha Omega up NQ on the 7. NQ on the 9. Enigma long on the NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega ES on the 1. NQ on the 7. Fib.NQ on the 9. ES on the 30. Fib.ES on the 1. Double delta NQ on the 5. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 5. NQ on the 7. NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 9. Divergence up NQ on the Alpha Omega up NQ on the 7. Fib.NQ on the 7. Fib.ES on the 1. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.ES on the 1. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Double delta NQ on the 7. Delta shift harmonic NQ on the 9. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Two-finger ES on the 1. Harmonic ES on the 1. Alpha Omega NQ on the 7. Alpha Delta NQ ES on the 1. Harmonic ES on the 4. Divergence up NQ on the 9. ES on the 1. Fib.NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 41. Harmonic NQ on the 89. Harmonic NQ on the 7. NQ on the 7. Fib.NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 5. Delta shift NQ on the 7. NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 9. Bold touch left. Fib.NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega ES on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 7. Two-finger NQ on the 40. Fib.ES on the 1. Fib.NQ on the 9. Two-finger NQ on the 41. Fib.ES on the 9. Two-finger NQ on the 41. NQ on the 9. NQ on the 49. Fib.ES on the 1. Harmonic NQ on the 5. Double delta NQ on the 5. Harmonic NQ on the 1. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 1. Alpha Omega up NQ on the 5. Divergence up NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 9. Double delta NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ down NQ on the 9. Divergence down NQ on the 41. Divergence down NQ on the 9. Enigma short on the NQ5. Fib.es on the NQ on the 7. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 5. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 7 down ES on the 1. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 1. Double Delta NQ on the 5. Double Delta NQ on the 40 on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 7. NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Fib.NQ on the 5. Alpha Omega down NQ on the 7 9. Alpha Omega on the NQ on the 7. Enigma long on the NQ on the 9.